In this video, we're going to look at some interesting situations from last night's session of the 100K challenge. Starting out, we're looking at hands of pocket tens on the left table, pocket queens on the right. We have an early position raise from Kojak Sammy on the left, so I just make a call with pocket tens. Most people who are going to be raising, especially regulars from early position, are going to have strong hands. And on the right table, I make a standard 3x raise to start it out and get called on my left by 3 players. Both flops are pretty dry. We've got 4 players in on the right, and I'm going to just make a bet size about half pot size. I make it a little bit bigger than half pot. The only hands I'm really too scared of on the right table are going to be sets, and I do get called from the small blind. Kojak Sammy comes out betting the flop again, and I just make a call with tens. Right now, I have to be kind of wary. He came out betting, and Kimberly called behind too. And on the right table, I'm going to bet again on the turn. Again, I'm only really afraid of any sets that could be out there, especially against this kind of player who isn't going to be folding very often. So I make a bet, and he winds up making a fold right away. Now back to the left table. It checked around to us on the turn, and I don't want to give any free cards to any draws here. I think Kojak Sammy slowed down with a, something that he was c-betting with, maybe ace-king, ace-queen, and I think he pretty much gave up on the hand right there. But we do get called from the small blind. I'm assuming that he was on a flush draw, and he comes up firing, maybe he had the 9. He winds up having a full house, 9's full. You don't really see that one coming very often, and it's going to happen once in a while. You just got to move on to the next hand, which is exactly what we're doing, and we have ace-queen offsuit from middle position on the next hand. Make a standard 3x raise with no one in so far. Got a table with mostly regulars on it. We get called on the button from Swagology. Nice name. I like it. It's a pretty draw-heavy board on the flop. So we come out firing 2/3 pot, and we get called from someone who does not call very many pots. So we kind of have to be careful again. But the draw-heavy board does give him a lot of hands that he could be playing and possibly calling with there. So I come out firing again on the turn, and none of the draws hit. So I'm going to check into him and see if I can't induce a bluff. And he does not bluff. He winds up checking, and we win the pot. What do you guys think about inducing a bluff right there? He has relatively high bet tendencies and really high fold tendencies. So I don't think we get any value out of any missed hands unless we check and let him bluff into us. The only hands we're really going to get value from are maybe queen, jack, or king, queen. The next hand we're looking at is ace, king from the cutoff. We get a couple folds in early position. Looks like we have a relatively tight table except for D Hold, who is very aggressive and loose to our right, who raises into us, and we're going to 3-bet it to 3.5 times his bet. And he makes the call. Flop comes out ace high, relatively dry board. We have a good hand. We have a great hand right now with ace king, and kind of want to put the pressure on him. I could see a player like that playing king queen, maybe queen jack. He could have an ace with a lower kicker. So I'm just going to come out and make it look like I'm continuation betting it, and he fires a big bet over the top of us. And with this loose player and very, very high aggression factor, I'm thinking about it, and I make the decision that this player is playing ultra aggressive, and he could just be betting with any ace right there. And the turn pretty much locked it up for us, and it winds up that he was betting with ace 5 and pretty much just gave that one to us. That's one of those spots where Hold'em Manager really comes in handy, because I don't think I would have gotten that read on this player had I not have the stats on him, knowing that he plays ultra aggressive like that. Next hand we're looking at is pocket aces from the hijack seat. Folds around to us. We make it 3x. Swagology again in the small blind. three bets it to a little bit bigger than 3 times our bet. We just got in a big hand with him, and I don't want to give my hand away. I know he's a regular. He's probably pretty good at hand reading, and so I just make a call to try to hide the value of the pocket aces. And he comes out, makes a small bet on the flop. He's getting to the point where he's almost pot committed now, and he makes another small bet. I'm just gonna call. Now that he bets, or that he checked the river, I think he would have bet any jack right there. I think he would have bet any full house, obviously. Any flush he probably would have bet. So I think I can get value out of my aces now, thinking that maybe I could get 9s to call, 10s, 8s, 7s, queens. There's a lot of hands I think you can get value with there. And I think him checking the river pretty much turned his hand up that he didn't have anything. So I can still get value out of all those hands that I beat. Obviously, any hand that he missed, he's just going to fold, which is exactly what happened. But how do you guys think I played that one? Should I have raised the flop? Should I have raised the turn? I thought about it, but then do you only get hands that beat you to call? Next hand we're looking at is pocket queens. From the hijack seat again, we get a raise to our right to 4x, and we 3-bet it to $3. Flop comes out extremely low, connected 2-suited flop. I make it a little bit smaller than 2/3 the pot, and we have an ace on the turn. It's a really bad card for us. The flush got there, an ace now beats us, and he checked into us twice. And this is one of those spots where your hand went from having value to having showdown value. And when you make that move from value to showdown value, you want to just get to showdown for as cheap as possible. I no longer think I can get any more value from my queens, so I just checked it down, and so did he with the flush. I don't really understand that play from him, but next hand we're looking at is pocket 9s. On the button, we have an under the gun raise to 3x. Again, remember that under the gun is always going to be strong hands, most likely, if you're raising from there, especially from regulars. And he fired the flop again. We have bottom set, so we're just going to slow play and make the call on the flop. He checks the turn, so it gives us the opportunity to bet. And we filled up on the river. Now, what kind of bet can we get that makes just a king call? So I'm going to make it 675. I think that's pretty good. It looks like a bluff where hands like miss flushes or something like that could make that bet sized, and he does make the call. Click that subscribe button if you're new here or you haven't subscribed yet. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down in the comment section below. Don't forget to head down to the video description for links to America's Card Room, Hold'em Manager, and all the poker programs that I use. The link below goes to the 100K video playlist, and the link on the right goes to the DK Poker channel. Thanks for watching, my poker players, and I'll see you out on the virtual felt.